are files. You have view, edit, help, and so on. Those are standardized menu lah. Okay. So create a menu and submenus for the program control. I'm sorry. I need to get the printer first. Okay. So menu and submenu. Under each menu, you have any submenus or not. So this one is you have to go through with some checking on other. What's the standardized layout for this menu and submenu? Okay, and then always start with what menu first, then followed by what menu, and always you have submenus under which menu, something like that. All this you need to study lah. So you need to do some research. Okay, so display and use the window common dialog boxes. Common dialog boxes like font. You can change the font. They can change the color. Okay, those are the common one for common dialog boxes. Okay, create context menu for control and the form. This is a shortcut menu consider. Okay. So you also write reusable code in sub procedures and functions procedures. Even though both are the procedures, but there is slightly difference about the concept of it again. We ever deal with it previously in someone. Okay. So they just categorize it to sub-mod procedures. Whenever you have the procedures, you need to use that. You need to call the procedures from other locations. From where? Okay. So the menu is with the menu bar. Okay. The menu bar contains definitely menus. So each of which drop down to display a list of menu items. That particular file menu maybe. You're gonna have one drop down for you to click on more items under this particular menu. Okay, so can be used in place of or in addition to buttons to execute a procedure. It can be a button as well. Consider that after you have selected a certain item under a menu, you click it, what will happen? It's actually just like a button. You click it, what will happen when you click that? When you have menus, and then you can do your selections from the menus there without coming out with so many buttons. Okay, so menu items are controls with properties and event as well. Okay, you're gonna have properties and events as well. Event definitely is a click lah. Normally is a click lah. So easy to create menus for the Windows Phone using the Visual Studio Environment Menu Designer. And this tool is actually ready as well under your toolbox. Okay. So the menu strip component. So when you check your toolbox, there is a menu strip there. You can just double click or you can just drag it, okay, to be added to your phone whenever you need it. Okay, so definitely you have to apply this as well into your assignment later on of it. So menu strip is a container to which you can add a tool strip menu items, the tool strip combo boxes, separators, and text boxes. So you can have all these different controls under menu strip. Okay, different controls some more can be used. So the menu strip components appears in the components tray below. So which means that once you start to drag the menu strip from the toolbox, Okay, so is actually the component is actually happen at the bottom here. Okay, at the bottom here. So this menu designer allows you to begin typing the text for the menu item. What menu you want to have here? If I have a file, okay, you can check through the Windows Words, the Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, all this. What is the normal layout and what are those menus that happen standardized lah. Okay, so like files, like home, maybe insert or design or help or view or review, all these things. Consider you can put it as a menu here. Okay, so you can type the first menu here. Okay, so the text property here, hold the words that appears on the screen. So which means that was the text that you type there, that will be the text appears to get the user where to go later on. Okay, to conform the Windows standards, the first menu's text property should be file. Okay, so that's why you have to always check back what's the standardized layout for this menu with the keyboard access key. And normally you can just put the ampersand, okay, so that they can access this file or other menu, alternate word key, okay, alternate word key to use for the keyboard access. Again, this is also for what you have like what you have done previously for the exit button, for the submit button, for the reset button, and so on. So there will be the keyboard access key. From there, you have to use the ampersand so that you want to set which now. Okay, which character you choose to be the key. And this also make sure is the common and standardized key. It's not saying that for your own program or for your own system later. Like exit, normally people use X normal already lah. Okay, so you have to study as well, do some research as well. What are the normal key or character on your keyboard they use as the key for different menu or different specific button lah. Okay, change the text property for each menu and menu item using the menu designer, or make the changes in the text property using the properties windows. How to handle this properties window is actually as usual. Okay, you can just click on that particular this one. If you haven't changed it, that will be your menu strip one. So once you select this, properties window is actually come up for you to do your own setting. Okay, properties window. So the name property for the file menu item that is added is actually automatically named as file to strip menu item. So you can rename it lah. Definitely you can rename it. This is only by default lah. Okay. So if you don't rename it, you're gonna have a long name lah here. Okay. So always rename the menu item with the prefix and have. Okay. You can select different type of these 4 types. Where already is now? Here. Menu items, combo boxes, separator, text boxes. You can select all this. So depends on what's the purpose, how you're going to arrange it. Even though you have arranged it already, you can still up, down, or you can just remove it. You can readjust the order of it. Okay. So you can add more. Okay. You can change the order. Let's say first you just want to think of, oh, I have all these menu items, separator. After that, you have all these menu items, but not in order yet. So you can just select by pressing up and down. It's okay. So maybe you think that some of the item is not needed, you can just remove it. Okay. So for the submenus, fill triangle to the right of the menu item indicates to the user assistant of the submenu. I hope now you already open up with your Visual Studio. Okay, again, open up your Chapter 5 demo by the same time. Okay, by the same time when you look at the presentation slides here. Okay, you just open up your own machines, Microsoft Visual, the demo for Chapter 5. Okay, so it's actually you can add up more. The menu item come with the submenu by fill up the text that appears when you point to the filled triangle. You can see that later on when you open up your demo. You just check which one is actually with. Hold on, let me check. Is there anyone with submenu in your? Yeah, you have. Okay, you have a new project under the add button. Add, which is under the file menu. Okay. So later on, you can check on this again. So this can be easily created by just clicking on this triangle. So the more you have, the more levels of submenus you have. So create some submenus by moving to the right of the menu items and typing the next item text. You just click it. Then it will come up with the blank text box. You can just type something there. Okay. If you have even more submenus, you can click again on the triangle, filled triangle again. It will give you a space for you to create a new one, some more. Okay. Separator bars. Have you all opened up your demo file? You can just open up the demo file. I just wait for you. Maybe that will be better. Otherwise, when you only listen, maybe it's not that clear. That will be good. Straight away, you can see what is that. Okay. So you just open up your demo chapter 5. How about Kelvin and Farah?
Yeah.
Kelvin, are you ready with this demo? For those who already opened up, you can just make sure your startup form is with form various. Okay, the startup form is with form various. So you can just start it. You can just start it. Okay. So you can see the add item. Once you see, you can see the triangle there. The new project is the submenus of your menu item add. Okay. So this one is actually after the design. So later on, you can look into how they designed this. Okay. Okay. Then, are you all ready for this filled triangle? You see the filled triangle already, class?
Under form varies.
Form varies 5. You make sure you open up. Maybe you open up the design for the form varies 5 first. don't start it first. If you haven't started, then you can see from your form various file menu. The first menu is the file. Is that? The second one is edit. Third one is view. So you click on the file, you can see add items, right?
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, new project there is actually under add item. That will be the sub menu of add item item menu item lah. So if you wish to have even sub menu for this new project, you can see a filled triangle to your right. You can just click at the right corner there. Then you will have a type here, space for you to key in what you want to put under as a sub menu for new project. Some more. You got that? The filled triangle.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. How about Pharaoh and Kelvin?
My laptop very slow.
Got that?
Oh wait.
Got that? You got that? Kelvin, come again. I can't hear you clearly just now. Kelvin, anything you want to raise up?
My laptop's so slow. Cannot do.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Take your time. It's okay. If you cannot get it, you can always tell me. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, like my case here also very slow. Okay. So take your time for that. Okay. Later on, you can still check it. Or if you still cannot get it, just let me know. I'll show you. Okay. So for the separator, see mine also very slow. Okay. By the same time waiting now, we just move on first. Later we come back again lah maybe. Okay. So separator bars. That's a line there. Again, under your file menu, you have add item, you have save as item, you have a line. You have a line there, that's the separator bar. This one is actually used for grouping menu items according to their purposes. Okay, if you have just like a group box, but group box is actually you group everything. You have a group box there lah. You place whatever relevant items inside. So now you also put whatever relevant items or relevant purposes in one group. Then if next item is not relevant to the previous one, you can put. So visually represented as a bar across the menu, like just a line. Okay, just a line to separate previous part with this part, something like that. Okay, so to create a separator bar, add a new menu item and click on the drop down arrow again. How to add that? You can actually adjust your collections there by adding the separator bar. Okay, let me see whether my Visual Studio is open up. Okay, still need some time. Okay. Some menu properties here. Enable property indicate the menu items are available. True and not available, false. True, false again. Okay. Check property. Same now. Check is true, uncheck is false. So the keyboard shortcut standard here, you have to just follow normally lah. What's the keyboard shortcut? Other people's use or other program or other system use. So select the menu items, and in the properties menu for menu items, you select the shortcut key properties here lah. Make choice from the drop down list again. You can change all these things lah. Okay. That is a miscellaneous day. When you check on your properties, the shortcut keys properties, you can always set what you want to set. So again, let me just double check. Not responding already. That's why I don't really like to open the Visual Studio in this laptop. It's definitely we're gone. Okay, come out already finally. This is the forms that you need to go through just now. Oops. Okay, still need some time to load. Okay. Not responding again. Okay. Never mind. Open up. Okay, I hope it's open now. Give me a moment now. So you can see the waiting for IntelliSense to finish initializing. So you have this IntelliSense to help you. This is the IntelliSense that we ever covered in chapter 1 or chapter 2. Okay, this is the part. Oh. Kevin, I think mine is even worse than you. I hope it's open very soon. Okay, still waiting. Okay, still waiting. Never mind. We continue first. Then later on, I'll come back here again. So standards for the Windows menu. Follow Windows standard for applications. What are the standards other people apply? Okay, you have to study that. And include keyboard access key and shortcut key. For this, place a file menu at left end of the menu bar and end the file menu with always with the exit command. So this is the standard apply for all other applications outside. Okay, help if it's included is placed at the right end of the menu bar. Normally, if you have a help button, help menu, always at the most right end, okay, right end of this menu bar. So you have to apply the same thing also if you have the menu there. Okay, so that people using it, they will feel like they will like get used with your Windows later, with your forms later. Okay. So creating menu, again, this is demo lah. The demos that you deal with also. Just now the form various. Okay. So I hope it's open now. Okay. So this is what mentioned just now. Okay. That's the menu item. I have the sub menu here, which is the new project. I don't know why I clicked it already. Something wrong. Okay, that will be the sub menu of this menu item. Okay, so you may have more than one. Depends on what's the purpose lah. It's not saying that you must have. Okay, or it's not saying that you must. You cannot have it. Okay, again, depends on the purpose and depends as well on the standard. Okay, but if you need to add up a sub menu for this new project, click on the very end here. I hope Farah and Noel already got it. I'm not sure. Kelvin? Okay already?
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. How about Kelvin? You got it already?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So that will be a field triangle. This is so-called a field triangle. I don't know why so extremely slow today. Here, you should have a field triangle come out here, and it will give you one more level here. Oops. It gave me this code. Maybe I clicked for so many times. Yeah, okay. So this is a field triangle. You can have more level than, okay, more level. So you must type something. Whether you have one item here or more items here, you can adjust. Okay, and this is the separator. Okay, this is a separator. So what else? Okay. Slow. Okay, so you can see all the control is actually at the down here. Huh? All the control are down at the bottom here. Okay. So if you want to check on the property, you just click it one time. Then suppose the properties window will come out. Okay, properties windows will come up for you to do your adjustment maybe. Whatever adjustment that you have maybe. Okay. So slow. So you can see a collection there.
What is DLG?
Come again, Noel. I can't hear you clearly, Noel.
What is DLG?
DLG is the dialog box later. Dialog box.
Oh.
Dialog box for this controller.
Okay.
That's another prefix. How come my properties is not showing? Or this is really slow. Okay. I think it goes to the code again. You can see the properties when you click on the menu file, menu strip 1. When you select this, is there any properties window come up? So under the data, under the data part, there is the items, So you can see the collections from there. I don't know why so slow. The property window is not coming out here. But on my PC is since just now. So long ago it's already here. It's already come out. Okay. So you can click on the collections there to check. Okay, that's the items collections editor there. Okay. So you just click on the collections there to have a look. Okay, to have a look how this menu is presented. Okay, so I move back to the slide, and you can just play around with this demo file. Just start it and then see what happened then. Okay. 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 You can check now or later on also can, no problem with that. Okay. So common dialog boxes, this is the one that Noel asked just now. So the predefined standard dialog boxes for specifying color, font, printing, opening, and saving files. Okay. So add appropriate common dialog components to display the dialog boxes that are provided as part of the window environment. So normally we also provide this type of dialog boxes for the control to the user. Okay. So to use the common dialog box dialog components, add the components to the form, placing it in the component tray. Again, you can get it from your toolbar there, dialog. Okay. So again, if you have this control, okay, if you have this control, it will happen again under the at the bottom of your form. So don't be surprised if you cannot find it. I mean, if you cannot find it from inside the form, it's actually outside the form at the bottom part. Okay. So we use this prefix for the dialog boxes, DLG, for naming conventions. So later on can try this as well. So for the common dialog tools that we have here, color, folder, browser dialog, font dialog, open file, save file dialog. Okay. So use the show dialog method to display the common dialog box at runtime. So for example, here dialog for this color dot show dialog, or this dialog for the font show dialog. It will show you their different colors or different fonts for you to do adjustment, or for the user to do adjustment there. So what is the meaning of this model versus this modeless windows here? So a dialog box here is said to be modal, meaning that it stays on the top of the applications and must be responded to. Okay, you must respond to this box, to this dialog box. Then only it will bring you to the next window or the next form or the current form, or you can allow to click on other things. Okay, so you must give a response. That's the model. So use the show dialog method to display a dialog box. So it is a window display modally. Modelless, you can click on this form, then later on another form, later on another form without give any response. Okay, so this modelless window do not demand that there is a response. So when you have this type of modelless window, you can just use show method. Okay, then later on you can play with form 1, form 2, form 3, 4, and so on. Any forms that you like if you don't close that form, those forms. But if you use show dialog, okay, so from form 1 you have a certain things that you click to show dialog to something. Let's say a color. So you must have some response to this color dialog. Finish that, then only you can play around with others. That's the difference between modal versus modeless window. Okay. So use the information from the dialog box. Code must be written to retrieve and use the choice made by the user in the common dialog box. You still need to apply some codes there. Okay. So for example, color that is selected by the user is stored in the color properties and can be assigned to another object such as control. So color is a class here. So different colors that you can set. Okay. So now whatever colors that's set by the user will be applied to the back color of this label title. This is the meaning of it. Okay. So it will get the user response. So setting initial values here. Before executing the show dialog methods, assign the existing values of the object properties that will be altered. Okay. Object property that will be changed later on. So when the dialog box appears, the current values will be selected. Okay. So when this dialog box appears, come on, show. That's the color one. Color that I mentioned just now. The color can be the color of dialog box, open file, all these things, or the font. Normally is a color font. Then the current value will be selected. If the user select what's the color there, and it will select that particular color already. If the user press cancel, property setting for the object will remain unchanged. If they click on the cancel, no changes, but it's still a response there. They press on something. Okay, the user press on something, response on something. It's only that the response now didn't make any changes. So whatever setting previously remain unchanged. Okay. So normally the current values changes. Okay. Label subtitle, the form assigned to this form, this assigned to this. That's an example only lah. So in this case, again the demo here, you want to apply. Okay. Now with the dialog color, you want to have show dialog. You want to get the user selections on what's the color there. Okay. So now by default the color is what you set previously. Then you show the dialog, which means that you want to ask the user to choose now. Okay, they must respond to this dialog, and it will give you either cancel or any colors. Then this color will be assigned to the back color of your message color. If cancel is applied, it will get back the previous color remain unchanged. Okay, so you can play around with this using the same form. Using the same form now. Under the edit form variables, under the edit menu. So you can see a color there. So when you have a color here, you can see that you can't click on anything else, but you must give a response to the color. Either click on any color, then OK, or you click on the cancel. Please try, please try. Your form variables again. Go to the menu edit. Check the color. Click on the color. Okay. Please try now, so that you can see a clear picture for this dialog box. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, please start your form various.
Miss, the dialog
Yes.
refer to which one? The color.
Yeah. Now for this part is actually under color. For the font also actually set it already lah. You can play around with the font as well. Okay.
Okay.
Mm. Under edit the color, but you must start it first. I hope this is not taking so long. Okay, you can just play around with the color and font. I think that's the only tool they set the something. Put some coding for this tool. So you can notice that once you click on the color, you must show some response to the colors. Okay, to this color dialog box. Okay. So you just try. Okay, you can select any color there. Okay, you can just please select any color, or if you don't want to select, just cancel that. Okay, you can see it still remain unchanged. If you cancel it, you can click on the color again. Just select any color you like. Press OK. You can see the color is changed already. And important things here I want to show you is actually you must show response to this color dialog box. Then only you can click on other forms or other things. That's the difference between show dialog and show. Okay, when you have show, you can click on any form, any place, but not show dialog. Okay, show dialog must give your response, then only can proceed. Okay? So make sure you keep in mind the difference when you need to use show and when you need to use show dialog. Have you all tried? Have you all tried? Yes, Okay,
Right.
good. Okay, good. So later on, you can also try on the font Okay, now, oops, what happened? Now is the context menu. That's the shortcut. Come out already finally. Okay, come out. Okay, try to click other places. I try to click to other forms. You can see that I can't do that because I must give my response to this dialog box first. Then only I can proceed to others. Okay.
Oh.
So let's say I just change. Okay. Yeah. So I can click on other things already now. That's the model and modeless. Okay. That's the difference between show and show dialog. This is what I want to mention just now. If you don't have this show dialog, let's say now you open up two forms. Here you have one form, here maybe you have another forms. Then you can simply click on other forms and do other things. Then come back to click on something on this form to do what can be done on this form. Okay, that's modeless. Okay, so you must make sure you know the difference. You use show and show dialog. Okay, I close this one first. Okay. So menu also we have the shortcut menu. Key also we have shortcut key. Menu we also have shortcut menu that pop up when you do your right click. when you do your right click. Again, all this is actually for the convenience of those who always use keyboard, and they prefer keyboard and use a mouse. The items are specific to the components to which user is pointing, reflecting options available for that component or situations. Okay, so this context menu strip component is added and appears in a component tray below the form as well. Again, at the bottom part, when you select this toolbox context menu strip, it will again show at the bottom of your form. Okay, so context menu does not have a top level menu, only the menu item. So when you right click it, it will show you something there. So creating a context menu is similar to creating a menu. Applications can have multiple contexts here, context menu. So you must assign different context menu to different things that you want to do. Okay. And normally the one that you assign, it will assign to the form. Okay. If you have only one, this will attach to the form already. And it will pop up if the user right click anyway on the form, including on the control. So this one also later on the same form various, you can just right click, you can see different, what we call that, different control there. Okay, we have two context menu strip inside this form various. You can just take a look later. Okay, definitely for this, you have to set the collections and also to set the event to make it the same like what you have done for exit. Okay, what you have done for the color, for the form, you have to adjust encoding. Okay, so again, back to the form various, creating the two context menu here. The two context menu. Okay, one is on the this context menu strip 2 is on color and form. Another context menu strip 1 is on exit. And again, I have no idea where is my properties now. Okay, later on only I will check. Okay. So when you start it again, you can see that you can right click anyway. Again, you just proceed. Oh, quite fast now. Okay. So you right click. What can you see? The button. Anytime I can exit it. Not necessary I come back to here to exit it. Anytime when I right click it, it will show me the exit for the form. Don't forget just now we have two context menu strip. Another one is here. Because your changes is on this level. Okay. So your context menu is actually on this level. You have to set the context menu strip 2. Then it will give you this color and form for you to adjust. So you can do the same thing here again. Okay, let's say now I choose any color again. So it will give me the same thing as when I click on this color and form in this case. Okay. So you can have more than one context menu strip. You can have more than one shortcut menu, but make sure you know which one is actually assigned to which part. Okay. So if you only have one, no problem. Anywhere you click, okay, If you only have one, anywhere you click, it will give you that. Okay? But not when you have more than one. Depends on where you set it. Okay, you can set all this. You got that? Got it, class?
Yes.
Okay, good. So we continue. All of you got it, huh? Kevin and Farah
Yeah.
also got it, huh? Okay, good. So writing the general procedures here. Now we go to the functions that you have learned in programming last time. Procedure is actually a function as well. It's only that in this VB.NET they call it procedures. It can be the module as well. Same concept actually. Okay. So
For
a general procedures here is reusable code. Like the functions that you have learned in programming, your reusable code, we call it as a function. Is it? Just the naming used in different language, they use different one. But the concept, again, same thing. So general procedure is reusable code which can be called from multiple procedures. Like a functions, when you have a functions already, you can call it from any other functions, right? Previously, is it? The functions that you have created, you can call it anyway. Same thing, So useful for breaking down large section of code into smaller units. That will be good with one procedure. In this case, you are doing one thing. Okay? So that easier for you to reuse next time. And easy for you to do your maintenance. Like a functions, you're just used to add. Okay? You just used to add a member. So you don't put add a member, edit the member, delete the member, and also retrieve read the member into one main function. Normally we break down to different functions, different purpose, easy for you to trace the error, maintenance, and also reuse next time. Oh. So two types here. The first type, sub-procedures, perform actions only. Do something there. But functions here, again, they use the keywords here, functions. Perform actions, same thing, But now, for the functions, if we are with the functions keywords in the coding, you must have a value to be returned later on. Okay, so that's the difference between a sub-procedure and a functions in VB.NET. Okay, sub-functions, you just do something. Okay, but functions here, using the functions keyword, you do something, you return a value. This is also what you have ever do in the programming in someone. You have a function, so return something. Okay, return a value, return a single value. Okay, so keep in mind for this. Yeah,
means can be used by other function.
can be used by other functions, can be called by any functions. So once you have these sub procedures or functions, okay, you can call it from any other functions. So if you call it from one of the functions, for these sub procedures, it will only perform something, do something there. But if you call a functions here, it will do something and return a value to the functions who call it. That's the difference. Okay. So passing the arguments to procedures. Arguments is a parameter. Parameter also you all have learned in one of times we call as parameter. Same thing. So if a sub-procedure's name has an argument, any call to the procedures must supply with the argument. If you have the parameters, okay, your functions there, you have parameter, definitely you need to, when you do your programming master functions call, make sure you have a parameter there. How many? If 1, you must apply 1. If 2, you must apply 2. Okay, these 2 parameters can be a fixed value passed from one function to another function, or it can be the any user input by the user. Okay, that's a value lah. So name of the arguments does not have to be the same in both locations. Same as well as what you have learned previously. Okay, doesn't mean that in your functions call you put integer A, integer B. In that particular functions, you must use integer A and integer B. Not necessary, but the data type must be the same now. Data type again must be the same. The name, okay, the argument's name, no need to be the same now. Okay, so the number, you can see the number of arguments, sequence, and data type must match, must be the same. So this is the general form, the general syntax for the sub-procedures now. Okay, always start with private sub, the procedures name that you name for these functions, for this procedure. Okay, and always end with end sub. That's the syntax of it. Okay. So creating a new sub procedures here in the editor window includes the line of code with a set of sub and end sub statement. Sub and sub. Okay. So code in a sub procedure cannot be executed unless called from another procedures. So here you have here should be sub and sub here. So this is a sub procedure, and these procedures must be called in other parts, other procedures. Okay. So like this case is actually called under another functions, another sub procedure called button calculate click. So when I run this, when I click on this button, calculate, it will bring me to this display total functions, the sub procedures. By these sub procedures, supply the arguments value. It will supply decimal total to this argument. Okay, to this argument. Okay, so let's say here, you give a fixed value 1000. So this 1000 will bring it to this 1000 saved under this decimal total again. For you to do something, you want to perform an action just to show a message box, the total is 1000. In this case, okay. So by value is fixed. By reference, you still remember again in your programming, pass by value, pass by reference, same meaning. By value is pass by value. I reference REF, that's passed by reference, which means that whatever changes inside these functions may update the value of the original in your original variables from where you call it. Okay. Always remember by value is fixed. It won't change. By reference, it may change by certain changes or certain calculations done, no matter in which functions it will get updated later on if with by ref, by reference. Okay, so now just pass by value, normal pass by value. I pass 1000 here, it will get 1000. And then no matter what changes you have done this 1000 later on, it won't affect the 1000 here. By reference, 1000 here, you pass it to here. Whatever calculations there, whatever changes update for this 1000 to 2000, it will affect the 1000 here to 2000 as well. That's the meaning of it. You please keep in mind. That's important. Otherwise, you say, how come? Suppose I pass 1000, but how come now become 5000? Okay. So be careful when you need to use by value or by reference. Oh, here it's already mentioned. By value or by reference. By value, send a copy of argument's value to the procedures so that procedure cannot alter the original value. What's your original value? That will be the value. From time to time, no matter how many times you call it, it will still give you that particular original value. Okay. By reference, by ref, send a reference indicating where the value is stored in the memory and allow the call procedures to actually change the argument's original value. Can be changed. So it depends on whether you have some calculations, new calculations to update the original value. If yes, your original value will be changed. Okay. So if there is no specifier by value or by reference at the beginning, arguments are actually passed by value by default. By default, that will be by value. Okay, so far so good. Any questions?
No.
No.
Questions? No, okay. Okay, okay, move on. So demo again for the sub procedures. You can go to your form sub procedures 5. That's another form there already now. Okay, form sub procedures. Okay. So you can just start it. Okay. I hope you already open up your sub procedure. By changing your startup menu, startup form, don't forget to change your startup form. Otherwise, you will still run the various form for you. You just adjust from time to time. Okay, just fill up something. Play around with it. Okay, have you played around with the normal forms that given? If yes, you need to do some changes now. Then you test again the message, especially on the message part.
What changes?
Okay, you have done already with the normal checking for these calculations, maybe done already. Then you just tell me. You go to the coding part. Coding part, just small changes. Okay, you go to your test private sub test by reference, line 26. Go to your line 26. Originally, it is by value. Okay. Then you change it to by reference. That's it.
Replace the message box dot show.
Display the message box there. And you go to the line 26, huh? You go to the line 26. Did you go to the line 26 already?
Okay. Then
You just key in by, you just change the by value to by reference.
oh,
Okay. From the first time you key in just now, you can see the message display there is actually the same message as what you type in. But when you put your by reference, it's actually giving you a message modified message inside the label. Okay, which means that now you override the message modified to the message that you type in just now. Okay, so it will actually affect the original value when you use by reference. But when you use by value, it won't change. Let's say in the beginning, you actually key in the message here, a message there, hello, let's say. Then it will show you all the hello. That. But now when you start to change your by value to by reference, your message display on the label will give you message modified. Do you notice that?
yeah. So that's
So that's the difference by using by value and also by reference. So be careful.
Where do you
If you
change?
still can't get it, pardon?
Where do you change the by
A
value
message.
message?
Yeah, when you run your sub procedures, you have a sub procedures, you have test by value versus by reference. You go to test by value versus by reference. You just go there. You just simply type a hello under a message there.
Just type a hello. And then
you can see hello at the beginning, right? Have you changed your by value to by reference already?
how do I change the by value to by reference?
Okay, hold on. So now you are still with the original form coding, right? You haven't changed anything. Okay, you go to the coding for this form sub procedures. Go to line 26. Okay. Okay, you can see a by value there.
I see.
Yeah, so by value there, you change to by reference. By REF, you change and then you see what's the difference on the message show under the message that you type. You just run again.
Modified.
You just run again after you change the code. Okay. You just run again. You can see the difference now. Line 26. Yeah. This one is the one that you need to change. Change it to by reference. Then you can see that even though you type in hello later, you type in hello, your message box still show the hello, but your label, a label there under your hello line will change the message to message modified. Okay.
So that's the only output.
Yeah, that's the only output. Simple only for this case.
Oh,
It's just show you what's the difference between by using by value and by reference. Huh? You can see the difference or not, Noel?
yeah. But it's still
Okay. How about
need to digest the concept.
Oh, okay. Definitely, like if you can't remember what you have learned in programming in someone, then it's time for you to refresh back, recap whatever you have learned already. Concept is the same. Concept is the same. Okay, Kelvin, you got it?
Yeah.
Okay. Farah, how about Farah? Got it?
Yeah, got it.
Okay, good. So definitely after this, you please play around with all these demo files again. Doesn't mean that today only you deal with this. Okay, so now for the functions procedures. Functions procedures. Just now is on the sub procedures. Now it's on the functions procedures. So in the editor window, enclose the line of codes with private functions and end functions. Just now is sub and end sub. Now is functions and functions. That's the difference. So once you come out with this functions and end functions, you must return a value. Okay, you must return a value. Okay, then the data type for the value must be specified. To return a value to the calling procedure, set up a return value. So this is a general form, functions and functions. What's the function's name? Proper function's name as what's the data type that for the values that going to return later. Okay, so the data type you must specify here. So main difference between the functions procedure and sub-functions, sub-procedures is that in the functions procedures, you must set up a return value. That's it. It's only one with return value, one without return value. So the naming is different in VB.NET. That's it. Okay. So the return value will be placed by VB in a variable with same name as the function's name. Okay, or use the return statement to return the value. So we will look into how to return this. For example, here, you have a functions procedures here called commission. So you're gonna have one argument. So which means that later in the functions call, you must provide or supply one argument or parameter to these functions later on for the calculations. Then as data type, the return values that going to return from these functions is actually a decimal value. It will return it to this later on and store inside label commissions.text. The concept is exactly the same like the programming that you have learned. You have the functions, these functions with parameter. Make sure in your functions call, you must supply the parameter, the value to that particular parameter functions to perform what's the actions that they want. Then from there, since this is a functions procedures, they must return something, a value, in this case, a decimal value. Okay. So let's say now, this again, supply 1000 to this commissions functions procedures. Same name, your functions code, you must get this name and then give a value lah. So this value is actually getting the text cells.text value. So it's actually getting user input here. Okay. So if the user key in 1000, this will take this will supply 1000 to commissions functions procedures and store inside this decimal cells amount. Okay, 1000. So if 1000 is less than 100 decimal value, then commissions is 0. Else commissions is this. So anyway, it will give you a return value as decimal value back to here, store in commissions.text. Label commissions.text. So it will either give you 0 or 0.15 times the values that you have. Okay. Since I key in user key in 1000 here, 1000 is not less than 100. Okay, so you will get 0.15 times 1000. So what's the value returned here as decimal? Back to here. Then later on, it will be displayed and show inside this label commissions.text. The value, the amount of it. Yeah, I got it. You got the meaning of these functions procedures now? Class?
Yeah.
Okay.
This part only lah. I mean, this part you got what it means, huh? Yeah. So did you find it is really similar to what you have learned programming last time?
Yeah.
It's not only that now a bit changes on the syntax. Oh, concept is still the same. Syntax is different a bit lah. Okay. And when you have a functions, when you have no matter it's a sub procedures or functions procedures in this case, since you need it, you need to use it. You must call it in other functions or other sub procedures or other functions procedures for further actions. Okay. So functions with multiple arguments, which means that with more than one parameter. Here is only with one parameter, one argument. So how about when you have more than one? Okay, we can receive one or more arguments. Same concept again as what we have learned in programming, same thing. But the sequence and the data type of arguments in code must exactly match the arguments in functions header. Must match. So no matter how many arguments you have, the sequence and the data type of all these arguments make sure must match. Otherwise, it may give you wrong answer, or it might give you, let's say in your functions call you only have 2, but in your functions procedures you have 3. It's not matched already. The number of arguments itself is not matched already. Or another case, in functions call, I put integer, decimal, but in your function sub-procedures, functions procedures itself, you put decimal, integer, something like that, which is not the same already, the data type. So you must always make sure sequence, the number of arguments, and also the data types are matched. Okay, no matter how many arguments you have, always match. So now we move on to the functions procedures form. Another form set in your demo file. That's your form commissions functions. Okay. So you can just double click the calculate button to take a look what sits inside here. What's going on in this coding here? Seems like it's actually calling the functions now. Calling a functions procedures called commissions. Okay, as decimal. So you have returned something here. Hold on. Hopefully it's Pass, huh?
Are all
Yep.
the function private?
Yeah. Normally it's private. You just call now within this form. Okay. So now when this button calculate is clicked, okay, you can see that in this case functions call is happen here. Okay. I'm actually getting the txt cells.text from user key in. So it depends on what's the user key in value here. Okay, if they key in 5,000, let's say, this will be passed to convert it to decimal. Decimal.pass, it will convert it, whatever key in by the user 5,000 to decimal cells here. Then you will bring these decimal cells to commissions functions. So let us check commissions functions. This is your functions, procedures, commissions. So it's actually getting by value, which means that your value 5,000 will be fixed. Your original value 5,000 will be fixed. Then later on, in this case is one argument only, and later on you're going to return a value which is a decimal value to here. Okay, to here, store into this label later on. So let's say we put past the 5,000 from here. So this will collect 5,000. So 5,000 here will go for this conditions checking. Okay. So less than 1,000, no commissions. Less than 2,000 and 1,001 in between, it will give you 15%. If more than that, it will give you 20%. So it will give you 1,000 in this case, 0.2 times 5,000. Okay, so it will give you amount here as decimal to be returned by this functions procedure. Then back here an amount which will be stored as a text for this level. This is how you can expand your coding. And this is how you can expand from where to where your arguments is, or how you get the values, how this value go through what kind of process, and whether this kind of process or functions return any value to the functions who call it. So this goes through all this coding as well. Okay. I know it's not easy for the first time. First time deal with really, but it's not first time for you to deal with the functions already, class. Okay. So you just play around with this demo and make sure you change the format to form commissions. Okay, give you some to play around with it. Okay. Play around with it. See the output, how the value is passing here and there lah. Okay. So far, any questions?
No.
No, Okay, good. So normally, like what Kelvin asked just now, must be a private or not, It's not necessary, but now since you are within one form, no point for you to go public. Okay, no point for you to go public. When you have a public functions, which means that easily for other form later on, access to the same functions if you have. But now, since you only deal with this one form, there is no point for you to go public here. Oh, okay, so no questions. Oh, last already. This is what you have learned. Menu, submenu for program control. Still remember using control there? Menu strip. Okay. Display and use a window command dialog box, DLG. Menu is MNU. Create context menu, context menu strip. You can use it. And then you can write the reusable code in sharp procedures and functions procedures and call the procedures from other locations. So in this case, one important thing I think I need to show it to you is the form variables. So just now you remember when I click on the context menu, right click, there's an exit, there's a color, and also the form. Okay, this color and form, especially or exit, as having the same functions, same event, like the color when you click here, and the font you click here. So let us double click in. The color click is actually handle the menu, edit color, and also menu color. So which means that at this case, it's actually handling both edit color and color when the when the user click on here color and also right click inside this color on when they run it. So it gives you the same result when they click on this color or this color here. It gives you the same thing. It's handling the same event. This of course handling the same event for different parts. Okay, one from here, one from here. This one. Okay, one is for the context menu, one is for the menu color. Okay, so it's handling two different items here, consider. Okay, so this is what you need to be aware of when you have the same thing done by clicking two different places or two different locations to get the same thing. Okay, I think this is the property manager. Okay, so you have any questions? Questions you want to ask on this chapter at this moment?
No.
No, What about Kelvin and Fabric?
Oh, no.
No, good. And the properties here. Yeah, this is the collections I did mention just now. If you go for no matter it's a menu on the context menu. So item collections editor, you can move up or down. Okay, so some more, you want to add a separator or not. edit. Okay, if you want to pull the separator up, you just move up and down. If you don't want a separator now, you can delete. This is what I mentioned just now lah for this windows here. Okay, under collections. Let me just cancel it under this collections item for context menu and also the menu strip lah. Okay. Set it the color, menu color. So you must also know what's the name that you set for the certain control. Then later on, easy for you to adjust it. Okay. Otherwise, if you want to do your adjustment later on, especially the coding part, I remember you have to check here and what else is now before I forget. Else I miss out thing else to show to you. Like no more. Okay. So you have to play around with all these. It doesn't mean that you go through this demo of you to apply this later on to your assignment. You still need to go through with the coding part, check the coding, and then especially the properties here, what kind of setting they do. Okay. Let me double check whether I did miss out something. Since what I need to inform you on what I need to mention, I already mentioned it to you. Okay. So how about this one? The shortcut key I haven't shown it to you, It's a shortcut key and then the menu. Okay. Then the menu, you have to go to the properties. Set your shortcut key here. Okay. You want to use alternate, shift or control, what key you want to use. Okay. But this one again, as mentioned, you must do some research on other Windows, other applications. What are the standard key they use? Saying that I want to use this one, up to me. Okay, it's not in that way. You have to study the standard one. Okay, this one I haven't show you just now, is it? Okay. So make sure you play around with this shortcut key as well. And I think that's all. What we call that? The proposal after our discussions that day. Okay, I stop sharing first. Okay, who's going to present your screen?
Me.
Okay. That's whatever size the set which is readable. Readable. Okay. At the same time,
Yes.
Hold on a bit slow. From my, okay, I can see that. Hold on, let me open up one thing first. Okay, yeah, you can start to, okay, then I just go through, see.
What?
It's okay, I will read it and see, but I will just quickly read through it. I won't, if there's not major problems, then you all just check all those like typo, you all just check those structure, grammar, all these things. Staff module, bus operator modules, route module, bus module, bus operator just now. Membership module, seat module, customer type module. Again, whether you go for the seat module or not, because it's a lot of seat inside
Yes,
one bus.
This one don't have.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 customer type module. Eh? You have so many different types.
So many. What?
So many different customer type.
Yeah, like
Like adult, kid, child.
Probably no need customer type.
Yeah.
People going to bus, no need, no don't
Uh,
even
How about you have all these module, but you don't have the schedule, you don't have the booking module, how to keep track?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
concept is the same. Did you notice that concept is the same like your cinema?
I just no need the membership, no need the customer.
So I say up to you whether you still want you want to keep track with the customer, member or not. Depends. So you come up with more meaningful, more important more important modules that you need. Okay. But now seems like more logic already lah. You start to get more logic answer for me already lah now. Okay, can you scroll down a bit? Detail. You don't come out with the structure chart. You didn't come out with the structure chart.
Haven't.
Oh, haven't lah. But you're going to have,
Yeah.
Okay. So is this the detail functions? Module descriptions ticket. Your submodule under ticket, submodule under bus, submodule under route, and so on.
Submodule also.
Yeah, in this detail functions, detail functional modules descriptions, you need to come out with the detail. I did mention that day.
Oh, so
Yeah, I say like add member, because that day I remember I used a member as an example. Add member details, add member or edit member information, update, and also display, all this CRUD. Okay. Otherwise, if you don't have these submodules under this module, ticket module or any other modules, then it's not in detail. You are just having the general descriptions on this ticket module, general descriptions on this bus operator module, and so on. You must have the crude lah. But for the delete, as again what I mentioned that day, as a delete, make sure as a delete, you have to think of whether you have this delete or not lah, in that particular module, because not necessary you have a delete submodule in any of the module here. Okay, not necessary, yeah. And also the report generations also I didn't mention that day. But did you mention it? Seems like I don't know lah. That would be easier to see the structure chart if you have a structure chart. So is this all you have at this moment? Can you scroll down some more? Okay. Okay. So improve that. Okay, improve that. Then questions did mention on you must include a user login module. So maybe this user login module, 3 of you sort it out together. Then in this, from these 6 modules, each of you take 2 modules here. Only user login module, 3 of you sort it out together. That's a just user login to standardize it. Then once you have this user login module, you can start with your own module design. Make sure, again, before you start with your own design, you already have a discussion. Make it standardized as much as possible, especially the layout. Otherwise, your layout is different. Noel's layout is different. Kelvin and Tara layout is different. Then when you combine it together, it's wasting your time again later on. Please discuss first when you really start to do your forms, all these things. Okay? Yeah. So, okay, more or less already. It's only that, not in detail. No need. No need to use them. No. Because in this VB.NET, we have built-in database inside. You can straight away create your database inside. It's in one of your chapter. Don't worry, you're gonna learn later on. Okay. It's in one of the chapter. Straight away you use that. You use the database created with how many tables that you have inside, with what are the details inside. Okay, you're gonna deal with that later on. Okay, so which means that this environment is this VB.NET environment is ready for you to design a complete system actually. It's a complete.
The login so use the pattern.
Pardon?
Use login.
Login? Why? Why? Login?
Also use database.
Login also use what you did? Database?
Oh, wait.
Yeah. Okay. User login also use database. So in this case, whether you only have one user login or you have different user login, different staff login. So again, if you have one only password, maybe you can set it at the coding part. But if you have one staff, one login, password, username, that's logic, that's more logic. And yeah, you're gonna deal with the staff table. You're gonna have this password under the staff table. Okay. Yeah. So this is what you're gonna create later on. Yeah. What? Come again, Noel?
What's this module?
Pardon? What is the? I can't hear you clearly, Noel. What is the missing module? Missing module?
Yeah.
What is the missing module? Your missing module just now is the important one, should be the schedule and the booking. Otherwise, when you generate your report later, not much. If you don't have this, how you know whether you gain a profit or loss without the booking module? Is it? How the customer book the bus, where to go without the schedule module? Is it logic? Okay. Ticket module same as booking. Oh, your ticket module is collecting whatever ticket booked by the customer, is it? Is that what you mean?
Right.
Oh, if that's the case, you have to explain more, okay? Because naming can be anything. I don't know. Your ticket here is just to print out the ticket or what? Huh?
Oh,
So explain more on this ticket module, or maybe you can rename it to booking module lah.
okay.
Huh? Okay, So yeah. So if that's the case, you have a booking module there already. Booking. Booking. See again. Just scroll down to the part 4. Part 4. Booking, bus operator, bus schedule. Schedule is more important.
So replace,
Yeah.
replace
Sure.
which one?
Replace which one? I think schedule. How many staff you have at the counter?
10.
Roughly how many? Between staff and member, which one you think is more important for you to keep the data off? Okay. You decide by your own between staff or member. You decide which one you want to track more. You select by your own, because if in a complete system, that will be good with all this. But now, since you cannot handle too many modules, you have to select one of it. Okay, you all decide by your own. And make sure you give a really clear instructions or descriptions. Okay. Okay, you got it? Okay, Then let me start recording. Okay. Yeah, Noel? Yes. Yes, I can't hear you.
He said in the chat.
Oh, do we need customer table? It's your member table, if those walk-in customer, are you going to keep with all this? Are you going to keep record of all their IC, name, address, phone, all these things or not? Up to you, up to your scenario now. If yes, that will be your membership table. You need a membership table. Okay, your customer is your membership table. Members table. Okay. Okay, the purpose I off record is actually I want to show you something which I think you're going to be very happy I got a sample already actually, but it's not good to record it. Okay. So now you can stop your presentations. You can stop sharing now. Let me share with you one sample I got from KL on the report on the reports that done by the students in KL last semester. Okay, now let me present. Yeah, you can see the structure chart here. It's good that you have a structured chart. This is why I mentioned the structure chart is needed. So it's that your wow, okay, your descriptions of the system. So you have your bus company ABC bus ticketing system. Then what are the modules you have? Okay. So member module, virtual module, in this case, they are actually having all these modules under this point of sale system, POS. Okay. A user login module is a must. Okay. It's a must. So later on, give me a structure chart or something like this, but you can present it in any way lah. Make sure it's a structure chart. So now you already confirmed your modules. That will be easier already lah, as what I commented last week. So explain a bit on the system. Okay. Why they request the system, maybe? Give me some idea why this company requests a system, bus ticketing system for them. Okay. So these are some of the explanations. So here I think they talk about how many modules what are those modules. Make sure you explain it also. The target user of the system. Who will be the user of the system? Have you all decided whether it's on standalone or the online? I'm not sure. Okay. Normally online can be anyone lah. Scroll faster. I don't want to give you a chance to screenshot. Yeah, I just want to show you something that they have done, especially something like this. Okay, maybe this one you can screenshot to keep it as a reference for your own case or your own assignment later on. So now they are actually under the module of member module. Oh, same module as I mentioned last week. Okay, you see, it seems like they have all these sub modules. You see, sub modules under this module. Every modules they have sub modules of that particular modules. You have to mention it and explain. Oops, sorry.
Oh, the submodule. Remodel.
Yeah, come again. Noel? What? Inside the chat. Some module can be more than 4, definitely. Depends on how many modules. Because I did mention you don't forget the report now. Because most of the modules, sure you have the report. CRUD is the most basic one. Okay, most basic one. You see, at least you have 4 lah. Add, view, the display, search, edit, search and view, or update, edit. And this one, they don't have delete. They have report generations. So you must have a reason why you don't have the delete. So they also come up with descriptions for the every submodule. Every submodule here you must explain some more. This is for the staff module. Oh, what module is that? How come like this? This is sales order and payment module. So, manage sales order and payment. Means that they have the CRUD inside here already. When you do the maintenance, manage sales order and payment, you have the CRUD already there. Okay. Oops. voucher. Okay, voucher module, add, read, update, voucher, validation, search voucher, report generations. Okay. For every single sub-module, please explain in detail some more. Okay. So now you have better idea already, user login module. User login module, your authentications, authorizations. Authentication is the one that you need to come out. You need to check whether this is correct username and password. Again, if you have a table there, you have to compare. Is it happen inside it? If yes, then allowed to use the system already. Authorizations, I'm not sure whether you can do that or not. You want to set, okay, different staff, different authorizations. Maybe counter staff, they can only view and book, view the schedule, all these things, and book the schedule for the walk-in customer. And then if the staff is the manager or the supervisor, maybe they can add staff. They can add the schedule. They can delete the schedule. So by setting these authorizations, password recovery, change password, report generations, to see maybe how many times the user login, or maybe what are the suitable report that you can generate. Excuse me. Excuse me. Okay, you have to think of what's a meaningful report that can be generated for every single module. Okay, make sure it's a meaningful one. So yeah, I think that's all I can show it to you at the moment. Okay. Every single sub-module, they mention it, they explain it. Anyway, this is their final submission. This is their final submission. Definitely, from time to time, they did some updates already. This is a finalized one. Maybe for their proposal, a lot of changes since proposal to the finalized one. That's normal. Okay. So class, that's all I can show to you. Okay. You have the idea now.
Okay.
Yeah. So this Tuesday, I hope to get more meaningful report, meaningful proposal from you all. Okay, compared to you have at this moment. Okay, still you have room to improve that. Okay. So any questions? Can a single form? Okay, I read your questions first, Noel. Can a single form in VB.NET consider as one module? Can a single form? Depends on how you design your form. Normally, you add, you save, you edit to get for the staff. Let's say, are you going to go to multiple forms to do all these things for different functions that you want to do? Normally, in one form, I can straight away add in the new stuff already. And in the same form, I can do some edit already for the different stuff. So, simple say we can make it to one form, one module. That will be more efficient. Noel? Okay. Yeah. Any other questions?
So far,
So far, no. Okay. Flora, you have any questions? Questions, Kelvin?
The proposal when submit?
Thursday lor.
Thursday.
Yeah. Thursday lah, by Thursday, so which means that when Friday morning I check something is there already lah. You give it to me. You post it into Google Classroom lah. Okay. After you post it, you can just send a message in our group saying that assignment submitted. Then easily for me to know when you actually upload it lah. Okay. Just upload it to any part of it lah. Under the stream also can. Okay, because that assignment submission is actually for the final submissions. If you turn in all these things, is actually for the final submissions. Okay, clear?
Yeah. One more question. in the chat.
Okay. Oh, yeah. What's your question, Noah?
In the chat.
Oh, can we still make corrections after we submit the proposal? Yes, definitely. Definitely from time to time, see, after each discussions, after each presentations you show me, sure you have something to correct or sure you have something else to improve some more. Okay, so which means that at the end, the last part, the final submissions, that will be the best you can do lah. After we have gone through for so many round of discussions, this one definitely include your own discussions among you all lah. Okay, what we have discussed here is actually I want to improve what you have. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions?
No.
No, so just get ready with your practical lah. You will again as usual. You all need to demo a bit on your practical 4. Then we go for practical 5 this week. Okay, and no other questions. I will see you all on Thursday. Still gonna see Fachai for those celebrating it. Still New Year. 6th day of Chinese New Year today. Okay. So yeah, if no questions, I will see you on Thursday then. Bye.
Okay. Thank you, Miss.
Okay, Miss.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Bye bye.